There are a variety of popular television shows that focus on the forensic side of criminal investigations, but none are as well known as the show that lends its name to the phenomenon we'll discuss in this video. CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, premiered in 2000, and it has changed the way the public looks at criminal investigations. The CSI effect is essentially defined as the unrealistic expectation that the public has for law enforcement and forensic processes. The public sees it in a show and expects that the same technique or principle exists in real-world criminal justice, regardless of the science or the cost that might be associated with such techniques. Let me provide you with a couple of examples of unrealistic practices portrayed on shows like CSI. The most egregious error is the role of the investigators. In real life, we have police officers, and then we have crime scene technicians, and then we have forensic scientists. Police officers search crime scenes. They interrogate suspects and make arrests. Crime scene technicians preserve, document, collect evidence at crime scenes. And the forensic scientists work in laboratories to analyze evidence. Three very distinct roles. CSI popularized the faulty notion that one officer could play all three roles. So I use this example of I can't remember the character's name. I think this is Officer Nick Stokes. The character's name is Nick Stokes, and he's wearing a vest in Las Vegas PD CSI. He's got a gun on his hip. So in one show, you can see him at the crime scene. He's got, I don't know what's going on with these little lasers, but he's going to investigate the crime scene, literally get down on his hands and knees, find particles and fibers, and later take that back to the lab and figure out what they mean. And then he'll go out into the field and interrogate suspects and chase them down and arrest, and he'll shoot, and all of those things all in a single episode. This one person will do all of these different things. So that's one problem. Another, I'm going to use this, I found this kind of meme situation that is using characters from the shows or the various shows related to CSI and the various spin-offs of that show. So what we're going to look at in this meme is just the illustration and the expectations that these shows create among the public in what's available as far as the technological abilities to manipulate evidence or enhance evidence, something like that. So if you've watched any of these shows, you've probably seen multiple versions of the enhance moment. This is the moment in a show in which a grainy photograph or video is enhanced in quality by zooming in, clearing up the pixels to make the object clearly visible. So in this meme, and again, these are the characters from the show, but they've I think the text on it is replaced to fit the meme. This says, see if you can enhance that license plate. So we've got a grainy security video footage. We incredibly view it, and we've got a very clear image of a license plate. She says, wait, zoom in on that screw. So we're zooming in on the screw. Those tool marks match the victim, so they're identifying what type of tool made the mark on the screw, and they zoom in a little bit closer, and they see the reflection on the screw is this suspect murdering the victim. So that's kind of a very extreme version of what would happen on a show. They've never done this on the show, but enhancing a photo or video to zoom in on something that otherwise would not be visible. So when we talk about physical evidence, there's a literal physical limitation on the amount of clarity you can get out of a photograph or audio recording. Literally, physics doesn't work that way. When you take a photograph, there's a fixed number of pixels. So there is a very little ability or technique that you can do to make a grainy image more clear. Either the original photograph taken allows for that clarity or it doesn't. So that's just an unrealistic view that we can take photographs or video and change the angle, view shadows, things like that. That technology isn't realistic for us. So, what consequences does this CSI effect have? This unrealistic expectation that we place on law enforcement to do certain things or have an ability to find truth no matter how hard it may be. We're not really sure what the consequences are, to be honest. Research has found that jurors do have some increased expectation related to forensic evidence, but it may not be based on the existence of shows like CSI. It may just be the result of cultural changes, and there's this more widespread increase in technology and scientific principles that might be cultural and may be a reason why we have more shows like CSI rather than CSI being the cause in and of itself. Also, while these shows might influence people's view on forensic evidence, there has been no widespread evidence found that it actually influences jury decision making or trial outcomes. However, many people point to the CSI effect as the root cause for the acquittals of people like Casey Anthony in her 2011 trial for the murder of her daughter. So maybe there is some argument there. What we do know, whether it has an effect or not in any kind of widespread way, we'll continue to discuss and debate the CSI effect for years to come. It's important to remember that the criminal justice process often ends in the hands of regular citizens, the jury. So for better or worse, their perceptions of the world matter in the pursuit of justice.